Hello everyone, Sammy from Invictus Studio. So today we're going to cover how to start with Substance Painter. I'm going to cover the introduction to this thing, and it's going to be first about how to start a project. Second thing, how to understand the different textures you're going to have, the texture maps and all this, what they're used for, what they are, what their function is. So this is going to be it. So you're going to be met with this nice screen here, the home screen, you could call it. Not that relevant, unless you start practicing, you can press this and do random stuff. But I'm going to make it so that so long as you follow this tutorial, you're never going to be clueless, ever again, when using Substance. So let's take that screen off and press New to start a new project and texture a certain model. So here, let's go from the top to the bottom. Here you can choose the file which you want to use and texture. If you press select, you're going to be prompted into just browsing your computer files. And yeah, you're going to just choose any good file which does the job. Just going to black my screen and pick the file which I've prepared particularly for this video. So I have my file here imported. Here you have the document resolution. It's basically the resolution of each texture image. Let's set that to the maximum because my computer is relatively strong. Also, so make sure to select the template here. Just press this and select any program which you're working on so that this aligns with it. And I've selected Blender, of course. Here we have lots of things going on. First is normal map format. This you wanna make either DirectX or OpenGL depending on the program, and if you choose the wrong one, the consequences will be that the normals or the texture is gonna be flipped in a way, the reflections on the object. So search this up on the internet. Also here on this option right here, compute tangent space per fragment. This you want to have the way it is depending on the template which you chose, because this depends on the program. I believe there's a certain technology called MICT, I believe, and this thing it depends from program to program. I believe Blender does this, so I'm gonna enable it. Let's disable that since it seems like Substance already has it disabled here for us. For this setting here, this is very important. It's called UV tile settings UDIMs. So the moment you enable these so-called UDIMs, then you basically have multiple texture sets, and when you go to UV editing, for an example in Blender, you're gonna have this big square with grids on it. You're gonna be able to move it outside of the square. Go to other squares. You might not be able to see this initially, but if you change some settings, there will be some squares getting at it. This is only important if you need the textures to be even more high res. In this case, we won't be covering that, so we're going to disable this. It's going to be one texture set only. If you have multiple objects in the same scene or like thing you want to model, then maybe you should enable this and have this on. This is pretty important. This follows exact UV layout you initially have on your UVs, which you maybe perhaps manually unwrapped on your program of choice. Good to have this option on. Convert UVs into visual texture tiles. What this does, as it says, is basically make it so that you have a different texture set on each UV tile. This might be pretty annoying, so I would recommend not to enable this. So here we have import camera. Never had any experience with this setting. I don't think it's important. Auto unwrap, this is important. There's the seams here, the UV islands packing. You can either choose to generate only missing data. Basically, if you've done nothing, you never touched these things or added them in. So you can press this so that if you have certain objects where this isn't present, it'll automatically do it for you. Or press compute all, so even if you did add it, it overwrites it. Same thing goes for each of these when you change those here. And the reason these gray out when you put compute all on them is because there is dependencies. Packing depends on the islands, and islands depend on the seams. Margin size, when you've got your texture ready and finished, there's going to be some space between the UV islands and maybe the border or other UV islands. If you want the margin to be small or big, it's up to you. Preferably if you have high resolutions, it should be small because you wouldn't need too many pixels to be there. Because the whole reason this is even used, other than maybe changing your mind and adding new UV islands, is so that it's a glitch. It's hard to explain, but basically when you zoom out in Blender and there is like very little borders, or the border is like very clear cut and there is like white outside of the colored UV textures, then once you zoom out, there's going to be artifacts showing up because of the border being horrible. But even small never experienced any artifacts with that on, so just keep it small. UV on rotation. This is pretty complicated. I don't think as a beginner you should get into this. We can explain this later. UV tiles. So what this does is Substance is asking you how many UV tiles you want to add. You either want to add like as many UV tiles as you want within a number, or as many as you need for textures to have a certain density of pixels within the real world space, like per geometry. I only need one UV tile here, not 10. It's a single object, that's all you need basically. And optimization, avoid elongated UV islands. You know what this is for. Not having long ones, we're avoiding them. Create fewer seams, this is good for organic modeling. You may want to have that enabled, perhaps, if you want less seams and less artifacts around those seams. It's a pretty safe option to go with. These, if you would have some baked maps, maybe some curvature map you want to add in, cavity map as I like to call it, you can add, and all these normal maps. Yeah, you usually would add normal maps because you probably bake them in Blender, but you can do this later. Physical size. This is to change things for that textile setting I covered on the UV tile workflow stuff. Color management, too complicated. We'll get to that later. Well, this is basically all you need to know if you want to properly start a project. So we're going to start with this ring. And look what we have here. Important information does this ring have once we do a thing called baking, which you need to do each time you start a project. As you can see, just press bake, select the textures, and certain textures that have to do with the specific geometry of the item are going to be baked. I'll cover each of these textures here. So first of all, I'm just going to go through the important one. Base color. There is no color here. If I were to maybe add a fill layer here and make it red, you're just going to see the color. And you're only going to see the color without any light effects or anything like that. Just pure color. No shading, no nothing. This is the height information for the textures. To show you a good example, let's add this. As you can see, there is bumps and stuff here. Some of this is going outwards, some of it is going inwards. If we switch to height, oh yeah, this was baked as normals. Okay, let's get to normals then maybe. I'm not sure. But that's what height is for, like to illustrate it for you. Basically, in other words, when it's black, it's going in. When it's white, it's going outwards. If it's gray, it's right in the middle. So we have the baked ones here, curvature. This is the baked curvature map of this thing. As you can see in the image there, what curvature does is basically it tells you where there is curvature within the model. In this case, there is bevels. And here around these bevels, there is curvature which is going. This is important for masking the curvature if you want. When you saw how I did that Wyvern video, I used it a lot with the scales to make dirt between each scale and all this. Pretty important stuff. But other important stuff to have opacity. White means the object is solid, you can't see through it. Black, well, that basically means the object is very see-through. For some reason I haven't baked opacity. Each time you bake it, I believe on Substance it's gonna stay the same because you don't have any glass material, do you? It's gonna stay white basically, I believe. Doesn't really matter when you're baking things before going to Substance. So these are the basics, okay? Now I can show you guys each of these in action and how they affect your model by just painting. Okay, I'll get to how to paint properly later on. For now, let's just stick with this. First of all, I'm just gonna add a basic full layer of white to keep things simple. Go with my nice brush here. I'll also teach how to use the brush later. This is just to understand what these different maps do and how they affect your model. Because you can paint on these maps with this array of settings here. Color. Suppose I want this thing to be red. Paint it here. Maybe green, maybe darker green. Does exactly that. Suppose I want to change the height. If you put this up, the value here, now we're kind of extruding outwards some of this material. If I put it down, we're carving in, as you can see. Better show this. Let's choose something smooth. Yeah, you can see the effects here. We're carving in. Roughness. Roughness is basically how rough the reflections are, how blurred they are, to put it basically in simple English. If you want it to be very, like, barely rough, move this around or something. Yeah, do you see how the more I change the light, that area with tons of roughness barely changes, but the one with very little roughness value changes like almost instantly. So you can also see like bits of the sky on it. That's what roughness does. Very important to understand that. Now, we covered roughness. Metallic. How much it absorbs from the colors it reflects to you. See, there is a tree right behind this, which is green. If the metallic value here was high, you're starting some green on this, which is getting reflected from the other side. That's all what metallic does. See, the more I have it here, you have the preview wall. It reflects more light. So if you want to have that metal feel, because metal does this. This is one of the properties of metal. Then yeah, enable it. Why not? Opacity. Do you want to see through the object or not? That's all it's asking you. I'm gonna enable some post effects here so that things are more clear to understand and see. These can help you a lot, except for lens distortion. You should enable these so understand this more. Index of refraction. So here, we were talking about opacity. If I lower this, I can see through this. If I maybe lower it not too much, like this, I can kind of see through this. You see that other part of this thing? I can kind of see through it. This is good for glass and stuff like that. Really cool stuff, right? So we covered opacity. Emission. You want some light to be reflecting off this thing. Yeah, just with emission, maybe we want some blue emission. Look how much there is glow here. Now, you can change how intense the emission is in the settings, and it's important to usually keep the slider on the far right, and also far up, because you don't want to have this dark at all. Keep it away from that dark corner as much as you can, like this. So we want to keep this here. It looks beautiful. Doesn't look horrendous. So we have normals. Normals are complicated because normal maps basically function like height maps, but they're more optimized for certain game engines and stuff. And they usually don't. Well, that's actually a bad way to explain it. Normal maps, what they do is, let me insert one here just to explain what happens. Okay. It's gonna be horrible explaining this the way I am doing right now. But let's add this one. I have to enable the UVs. Yeah, like this. Let's have a view of both the UVs and this. So where is the, yeah, this is the place. This is the dark green. If I insert a normal map here, normal. Now look what happens. The thing the normal map does is that it tells the computer the angles of where the light should bounce when it hits the object. Normally it's this weird purple color, but then it could go more blue, more greenish, So it changes the angle. It's like a fake height map. Height map tells up or down. This tells the angle. That's it. So there you have the normals. I inserted this normal map. You can see the angle is getting changed on this circle here. It's covered normal map, emission, opacity, roughness, metallic, height, color. Normal map sure does look the weirdest here, but that's for another day. And yeah, I'll show you the effects of the height map, how it should actually look like. We change this here. Displacement. You can see the height map here is doing some displacement. This is better illustrated if I start a new layer, height, make it go up. Look, in a lot of game engines and stuff like Blender, this makes the mesh go outwards. So now you have all the maps covered. This is Sammy from Invictus Studio, and thank you a lot for watching. I hope this helped.